WCW.
It is quite easily one of the most iconic moments in wrestling history, and to be honest guys, one of my favourite moments in wrestling history. Shane McMahon buying WCW right under his father's nose. Welcome back to Fog Wrestling. Now, to put a bit of context into this was the 26th of March 2001, but to get a wee bit more into it, let's go back to the 23rd of March 2001, because that is when WWE officially bought WCW Nitro. And yeah, it is, well, I say WCW Nitro, you know, the whole company. Thunder, the whole shebang. Thunder, Nitro, the library. And this acquisition ended the Monday Night Wars between the two wrestling promotions. If we're being brutally honest, 2000 and 2001, WCW was pretty much done. I mean, could they have went on for a bunch more years? I think they could have, but the momentum swing that WCW would have had to have had over WWE in order to get one up over them would have had to have been absolutely insane. Like, there is no two ways about it. 2001, I think the greatest year in wrestling history. That run from January up to Mania is just unreal. And you know what? As much as people want to bury the invasion, see the people that bury it, they haven't fucking watched it, right? We watched it a couple of years ago, you know, on the network, and hopefully they release all the episodes on Netflix and you guys can do it. But see if you actually watch from like King of the Ring 2000, well hell, fuck King of the Ring 2001, start for the first episode of Raw in January, or SmackDown, whatever it is, and finish right up at the end of the year at Armageddon, right? That's what to do. You know what I mean? Watch the whole year of 2001 and come fucking back to me after you've watched it in about a couple of years' time, and then actually debate and discuss if you genuinely think that 2025 is better wrestling. But anyway, let's put our stuff on the ground. McMahon kicked off the show basically by saying, here, I now own WCW, and Jeff Jarrett, you know, double J, double F, double T, you're gone. Gone. God. Great. McMahon just putting the boot down and putting the boot clean through Jeff Jarrett, who we've given a lot of praise to recently in 2025, because guess what, guys? He's rolling high. He is rolling high. The last outlaw running his big dreams over there. But Shane McMahon, he would later appear from Panama City in Florida, but we were live in Cleveland, Ohio. So just seeing Monday Night Raw kick off with Vince McMahon talking in front of two television screens, one's Nitro and one's Raw, is just fucking insane. I'll be honest, I've seen a few clips from the last Nitro, like the Shane segment, obviously, because it's with McMahon. I've seen Ric Flair Sting, but I haven't watched the full edition of the last ever Nitro, and I feel like, guys, that's probably an edition that we should review here on Fog Wrestling. But the sad thing with that is the network's gone. WCW, there's probably no chance that it's ever going to come over to the WWE part of Netflix. Hopefully it can, but we'll see how it goes. But throughout the night, obviously, you've got JR and Heyman on commentary. Now, I am going to do a retrospect on the entire episode discussing it, because it is the go-home show to WrestleMania. I mean, the go-home show to WrestleMania. Let me just wrap this up quickly, right? In terms of you had Kane and Undertaker against Austin and Rock. You had Chris Benoit and the Hardys against Edge and Christian and Angle with interference for like Rhino and Lita, right? You had fucking X-Pac against Test with Eddie Guerrero as a special guest referee. You've got this whole stuff with McMahon buying WCW. Mick Foley returned and made himself guest referee for the Shane and Vince match at Mania. Can't wait to discuss it, guys, in a later video. But let's get to the McMahon part. McMahon comes out, and you know what? It's not the greatest promo in the world from McMahon, but let's just put yourself in McMahon's shoes for about 3 seconds. It's basically McMahon out in the ring, gloating for 10 minutes, burying WCW and like how he finally won the war, and he's like, well, you know what? It's mine now. I won it for a small prize. All those years they spent making fun of my company. Well, who's laughing now? He who laughs last laughs longest. Or loudest, whatever the fuck the saying is. But yeah, a very good promo from McMahon, because, you know, this is McMahon letting out all his frustrations on WCW. This was never heard before. It's a fucking monumental moment. like as I say, it's not the greatest promo from McMahon. It does drag on a bit, but at the same time, it's Vincent Kennedy McMahon finally talking about WCW and the Monday Night Wars while keeping kayfabe at the same time. I fucking loved it. I really recommend this episode of Monday Night Raw for you to go watch. It's fucking insane, man. But there will be a full proper retrospect looking into it on the channel soon. But then, of course, he gets interrupted by Shane McMahon, who's in Panama City, Florida. JR and Heyman are flabbergasted. Shane comes out, he basically says, well, while you were flapping about with this whole deal, you're right, Dad, the deal is done. The contract reads McMahon, but it reads Shane McMahon. I now own WCW. And you've got that iconic line, he's bought his son's butt, his daddy's business right under his father's nose. What a segment, what a moment. Wrestling just can't produce stuff like this. And I tell you what, this really was like a genie in a bottle moment, because it's like, as Christina Aguilera would say, I'm going to rub you the right way. This, even if AEW died tomorrow, right, and Triple H bought it, wrestling in 2025 is just nowhere near what it was in the late 90s and the 2000s. This moment here, I was like 6 months old, 7 months old, 7 months old when this happened. I would have see how great this would have been, like, being like a teenager or like, the age I am now, 24, watching this live as it was fucking happening. Like, yeah, I think you still would have been sad that WCW is out of business, but what a fucking moment, man. This is when wrestling was great. Seeing you're listening to this promo and Shane comes out and he buys it, gives you fucking goosebumps. It does. It's a monumental moment, man. This is, seeing The Rock comes out and he looks at his arm and he's got the goosebumps. This is the stuff right here. Epic moment. Fantastic. One of my favourite moments in wrestling history. One of the most iconic. It signalled the end of the Monday Night Wars, for fuck's sake. Pretty much signalled the end of the Attitude Era, although I would pretty much say that's more Mania X7 with Austin McMahon joining sides. But here, what a time to be alive it was, guys. Leave your thoughts down below. We'll be back with more content soon, and peace.